Hello, how's it going? We got another article for you that I'm super excited to share. It's about a woman named, let's bring her up here, Emily Harrington. And she is going to do something that no woman has ever done before. In fact, only a few guys have ever done it. And it is to climb this like sheer, let me over here, like this straight up like cliff side of a mountain called El Capitan. And only a few people have done it. She's going to do something that's called free climbing. It's not the traditional climbing where you have like tons of ropes and stuff. It's basically one rope, and hopefully, if you fall, it will catch you. But she's going to do it in a remarkable amount of time. Just crazy, crazy. And they're going to talk about a movie in here that I've seen. And if you like climbing at all, I can't climb. I like watching things about climbing and people risking their lives and just amazing. There's something called Free Solo. It was like streaming on Netflix or something like that. Like I said, they'll mention it in here. But if this is something that interests you, definitely check out Free Solo because it depicts this guy, Alex Honnold, which they'll talk about in the article. He's the first person to ever do it. It's a crazy feat. So let's get into the article and talk about some of these things that are happening because it's just pretty impressive. So Emily Harrington is the first woman to free climb 3,000-foot route in under 24 hours. And you can see her there. Like, I mean, I can't even see the rope that she's, there is a rope that she's using right there. But I mean, one single rope, that's the only thing you have between you and certain death. My gosh. Emily Harrington climbing El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, California in November 2020. While most of the country was busy watching the presidential election on November 4th, professional rock climber Emily Harrington was busy trying to complete a record-breaking climb of El Capitan. El Capitan is a 3,000-foot high rock formation in Yosemite Park, California. 34-year-old professional mountain athlete was pushing to become the first woman to free climb El Capitan along a specific route in under 24 hours. Free climbers only use a rope to catch them if they fall, rather than to help them climb. Harrington's accomplishment helped her join the ranks of some of the best big wall rock climbers. Only 3 people had completed the climb before her, and they were all men. Climbing for so many hours requires total focus, but Harrington's concentration was sometimes broken by the uncertainty of the presidential election. We had like 21 hours on the wall, so there were times when people were checking their phones, Harrington said. The morning of November 6th, the idea is to not stop. Climbers use several different routes to climb El Capitan. Harrington had been eyeing the Golden Gate route for 5 years before she finally attempted to climb it. El Capitan is so difficult to climb that it usually takes several days, and many climbers go in groups bringing heavy bags of food, gear, and hanging tents that they use to stay on the wall for days or even weeks. Let's see if I can bring this down here a little bit. Yeah, so that's the side of the mountain right there, just straight up, talking 3,000 feet. Cray. Only about 25 people have climbed to the top of El Capitan in 24 hours, and most of them used an easier route than Golden Gate. Harrington, however, wanted the challenge. The idea is to not stop until you get to the top, she said. That's the essence of big wall free climbing. Harrington, stronger after fall, injury. Harrington had climbed the route many times, but never in a single day. On an attempt in November 2019, she got seriously injured after a scary 40-foot fall and had to be carried from the base of the wall in a stretcher. However, she vowed at the time to return in 2020 to try again. With the coronavirus pandemic canceling her travel plans for the year, she got to train for 8 months straight in her home gym. She's considerably stronger physically and emotionally than a year ago, said Harrington's boyfriend, pro mountain athlete Adrian Ballinger. I've never heard of this guy, but she's a different climber today. But the fear was still there from the fall last year. Harrington and Ballinger arrived at Yosemite on November 3rd and met up with Alex Honnold. Now, this guy, no, he's pretty famous. Another well-known climber and the star of the Oscar-winning documentary Free Solo. Ballinger and Honnold assisted Harrington by belaying her. Don't worry, if you don't know what belaying means, there are some context clues there. It'll let you know in the next sentence. By belaying her up the route using a rope. Belaying is when climbers use a rope or other equipment or a partner to catch them if they fall. So it's, a safety measure, but and they'll mention it in a minute, but it's risky because you're hoping that other person isn't going to fall as well. So it is super risky. These people are definitely risking their lives, even though there is like a little bit of safety there, but it's just, I would want way more safety. I would want to just like stay on the ground, pretty much. That's me. But I love reading these stories about people that can accomplish great things. Harrington and Honnold set out in the dead of the night on November 4th at 1:30 a.m., lighting their way with headlamps. The first snowstorm of the year was coming in a few days, so they had to move quickly. The pair began to simulclimb. And anytime you hear like simulcast or simultaneously, think simul, think same. Okay, simul, same. So like a simulcast, maybe like last night I was watching some basketball with my family. My beloved Crimson Tide lost. But it was actually being simulcast. Like you could watch it on CBS, but then there was an app on your phone where you could watch it on a Final Four app, I think it was. So it was being simulcast, shown at the same time. Right now I can't do it very well, but I am simultaneously like tapping my forehead and tapping my chest. Wait, hang on. Simultaneously at the same time. That hurts. Simultaneously. Simul. So simul. Same. Just going to keep saying that until I can get back to the article, put my glasses on. So a simul climb is climbing at the same time. A faster climbing style where two climbers are tied to the same rope and climb at the same time. However, this style is trickier. Look at that. Same, simul, same. Problems set in after the first 2,000 feet. The first 2,000 feet of the climb went smoothly, Harrington said, but then they reached Monster Offwidth, a part of the route that had given Harrington problems in the past. It is a crack in the rock, 6 inches wide and 200 feet high, and climbers have to push themselves into the crack and climb up. However, Harrington's feet were too small, so she had to borrow Honnold's climbing shoes to help her move up the crack. In the end, Harrington climbed Monster Offwidth 2 hours faster than she did in 2015. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Harrington chasing a record up El Capitan. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, in the chat, whatever. Let me know in class. Would you do that? Would you climb 3,000 feet? It really doesn't matter, right? I mean, I think after you get like past that, I mean, she survived a 40-foot fall. I mean, once you get past 40 feet or so, it doesn't matter. 40, 100, 1,000, you're probably going to die if you fall, right? I mean, man, I'm going to try to stay on the ground as much as possible here. But that's just me. Maybe you're different. Harrington ran into trouble at another part of the wall called Golden Desert. She fell once, and when she tried again, her foot slipped and she hit her head on the rock. Ballinger thought that her climb was finished. Instead, Harrington rested for an hour. She did not have any serious injuries, but she was emotionally tired. And I would think physically tired too. There's so much pressure on your arms, your legs, your entire body climbing up that. There was a part of me that wanted to give up and quit, Harrington said. But this other part of me was like, this is why you're here. It's supposed to be hard. You owe it to yourself. Try again. Harrington tried again, and this time she made it all the way to the top. She finished the climb around 10:45 p.m., 21 hours and 13 minutes after she started. All right, I don't care what you do for 21 hours. You're going to be tired. Even sleeping. I mean, maybe you can. I mean, maybe when I was a teenager I could too, but just even lying in bed for 21 hours, it can be kind of exhausting. Think of anything else though. Eating, breathing. Okay, I'll give you breathing. You could probably breathe for 21 hours straight. But most things, whatever you do, let alone climbing up the side of a mountain, you're going to be tired. Yeah, breathing. You could do that. I found my own way. After the climb, Harrington said that being the first woman, I thought for a second that I wasn't recording, but I am recording. I would have been mad. After the climb, Harrington said that being the first woman to free climb the route matters. It's still primarily like first, for the first part. It's still primarily men up there, and it can be really intimidating to be a woman sometimes, she said. I spent a lot of years feeling like I didn't belong, like maybe I hadn't earned my place to be a Yosemite climber. But throughout this experience, I learned that there is no belonging or not belonging, no formula to achieve up there, she added. I was creative and experimental, and I found my own way. So you could definitely see if you want to, I don't know, maybe we'll read this at some point, but there are quite a few articles here on, there are quite a few articles here on Newsella that you can read if you would like. Just awesome stuff. And Free Solo, you might want to watch that. Free Solo if an article like this interests you. All right. See ya. Adios.